This is Clark Ingram with People Profits LLC. We help you with your employee turnover, your chronically open positions, also known as labor shortage, and skills gap. Today, we're going to talk about a problem that I run into just constantly, and it's a big problem, and it's very consistent, and most importantly, it's very expensive. The most consistent mistake I find is something that happens at the very beginning of the interview process, and that is forgetting that the applicants are either unemployed or they're employed in a very toxic situation that they're not happy with. They want to, so if you're unemployed, your job is to find a job. So they're going to do whatever they have to do to get that job offer. They're going to say whatever they have to say. They're going to say whatever they think you want them to say. And so you need to get it into your head that you're talking to somebody that's their goal. That's their one and only goal is to get that job offer. If they are unhappy, they're generally less, they got less pressure on them financially, but they have more pressure on them emotionally. They are in a job that they really don't like for some reason. They've got a toxic environment and they're trying to get out. So you're going to have the same level of them marketing themselves. Okay. Either way, they will say whatever they have to say. Uh, Take a look at the employee turnover that you have in the first 60 to 90 days. Just about every organization, they have a tremendous amount of turnover in that short period of time. And I believe that this is one of the reasons why, because you're not talking to those people and recognizing that, again, they're saying what they think you want to hear. This is one of the major reasons for turnover that I see. They are less concerned about finding the right situation, the right organization, the right job, the right values, the right culture. They're less concerned about that. They're more concerned about getting the job offer. Um, Only if they feel like they have options. If that person who's unemployed, but he's got three interviews that he's talking to, or that person who is employed, they're not real happy, but they're not in a really super toxic situation, then those people will be a little bit more concerned about it. But if they're in a toxic situation and they're unemployed, they got no money coming in, they're going to tell you whatever they think you want to hear. Um, Many times in the interview, the candidate will decide to use you as a bridge to the next job. They just need money coming in. They're going to take whatever job you offer them, and they are literally making that decision in the interview. That is extremely expensive to you. You're gonna train them up. You're gonna onboard them. You're gonna do all the things that you're gonna do, only for that person to leave 60 days later when they get a better job offer. Okay, I say this to a lot of people, and they really don't like it. They get upset about it, and at the very same time, they generally, after we talk about it for a while, they recognize the truth of it. And that's a bad situation. Literally, they're making a decision to use you during the interview process. Keep something in mind. You know little to nothing about their actual situation. Okay, you have to ask them the right questions, and you have to try and glean out of them what's really going on. They will never directly admit how bad their situation is. They will never directly admit that they are just going to take whatever job they can so that they can get money in. But there's also a clues while you're interviewing them, things that they might say, and again, try to figure out the questions that you would ask them. Take nothing at face value. Do not, anything that they say to you, do not presume it's true. Presume that it's been shaded, that they are playing with the words to get you to believe something that may not be true. Presume that you're being marketed because you are. Ask the same type of questions that you ask when you're talking to a salesman about a product. Think about the mindset that you have to be in to be asking those kind of questions versus the kind of questions you're asking during an interview process. Two different things, but in reality, they should be closer, in my opinion, is that it should be more of you really trying to figure out what you're being sold. Okay. Um, what are they saying which is consistent with your culture and values? I've been in many interviews where people are literally saying things that are the opposite of our values, the opposite of our culture, and I don't care how bad I need that person because I know that they're not going to last, they're not going to be around for long, and in the long run, it's going to cost me more money. Um, if you do a personality survey, which I always recommend, yeah, a lot of these personality surveys you can get relatively cheaply. Is can that personality survey help you understand where this person is coming from and what clues are they giving you? What clues are they giving you in the resume? What clues are they giving to you in the personality survey? What clues are they giving to you in as they're just talking to you? Okay. Less employee turnover in the first 60 days will require less recruiting and will require less training, etc. And again, that's a very expensive proposition. In their resume, there can be lots of things in there. The most obvious one is they're job hoppers. They're bouncing around. They're never happy. They're never, no matter where they end up, they're just not happy where they're at, and so they're going to be job hopping. But there's also some other clues. Just look at some of the words they use in their resume. Again, does it fit your culture? Does it fit your personnel, the values? And also, is there anything in there about in the resume that leads you to think that they're embellishing or something like that? So that in itself tells you a lot about that person. Here's the best way, in my humble opinion, as to really be able to get through on a lot of these kind of questions, and that is, does that person know anyone in your organization? As some of you know that have been following me for years, is that that's one of the things I do a lot is recruiting using your employees, and that is ask them to bring you good people, and that is when you've got somebody in your organization that is putting their integrity on the line, and they're saying this is a really good person versus yeah I know that guy but I don't think he won't fit in here very well. That is one of the best ways to do that. Taking references from people that you don't even know, in my opinion, that's kind of questionable. But if you've got somebody in your organization who knows that person personally, that's a really good way to deal with that. Again, this is a very expensive proposition for you to think about. This is Clark Ingram with People Profits. We help people with their employee turnover, their labor shortage, and skills gap.